Alrighty, guys, what is up? Welcome back to another episode of Project Architect with LoneDebater7, and today we're going to be covering some refined storage system upgrades, so let's dive right on in. We've got our crafting grid here, we've got some gargantuan storage filled up with power, we've got our solar, all that goodness that we've talked about in the last episode. EMC link, I did go ahead and throw in a Naga monster spawner. That's what that spawner is in there. Using a sack of holding, you can pick up a spawner, and then using the mob swab from mob additions, you can swab a Naga and get a spawn egg and change the spawner to a Naga. And the reason why I picked that as opposed to a wither skeleton is because Nagas can actually drop wither skeleton skulls as well. So basically that spawner's in there. It spawns like that giant snake looking thing every once in a while, and that will give us wither skeleton skulls. Now, the reason why we needed that is because I do need nether stars in order to upgrade our refined storage system with true wireless potential, which is what we're doing in today's episode. If you want to see the rest of it, so we've got nether stars in our computer right here. It's in our table. We can pull out as many as 72, 74 million. EMC will allow us. But we need one of these wireless transmitters. Pretty straightforward, pretty easy. We need this. I'm going to teach it to my table. So on the EMC link configuration, if you change the bus priority to 1 higher than the priority of all the rest of your refined storage network, it will put all the items that are EMCable into your link and will teach it to your table. I didn't do that on mine, so I have to manually teach stuff to my table. Not a big deal. I'll change it later on, but I didn't do it in between sessions, so no worries. Just wanted to let you know on that. So that's why I'm putting stuff in my tablet. So no worries. If you're having that problem, that's the fix. On the bus that's connected to your EMC link, just change the priority to that to 1, and most likely it will fix the issue. But I'm going to build this universal grid. This will allow me to pull out fluids. I mean, it takes all the grids. So I'm hoping that it will have a crafting interface in it. Would be amazing, because I'd love to be able to do fluid crafts wirelessly as well. Just because I do have quite a bit of fluid storage inside of my computer as well. Actually, the vast majority of my storage is fluid storage in my computer, but that's no big deal. There we go. We've got all the grids taught. Now let's build this universal one. Looks like a big old iPad. Let's bring this bad mama around, teach it to the table. And yeah, so we put it in our hotbar. We have wireless charging. So we're good to go. We just need to shift right click this on the controller, and now it's linked. We also need to put down the wireless transmitter that we made and threw in our tablet. Not netherrack. We need a wireless transmitter. Transmitter. There we go. We'll just take a stack. We don't really need a stack because we're going to do some other stuff. So we only need 1 access point, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But the way you upgrade these wireless, the range of your wireless is use range upgrades like so. Pretty easy. You need ender pearls, iron, or quartz enriched iron. Pretty straightforward. It's EMCable, so yeah, pull out a stack at your leisure, kind of a deal. But there is an infinity range booster. Now this one takes another star, eye of ender, 3 range upgrades, and netherite. So it's quite a fair amount more expensive than the basic one. But this one will allow you to access your refined storage system throughout the entire dimension. So if I put down this little transmitter blocky boy. Yeah, we'll just stick it on the face of this controller. Why not? That'll work. Sure. And we put this guy in. See how that jumped up to max int? That means that we could go anywhere in the world and access our refined storage system. Now, it does take a chunk of power, so 4237 is where it was at. And 237. So it's about 4,000 RF a tick in order to run the infinity range booster card. So it does take quite a bit of power to run that card. Now, there is an additional upgrade card that we're going to build. It's a little bit more expensive even than the infinity range, and it is a dimension card. Now, this grid doesn't have crafting. Dang. Okay. Well, this is how you build it, though. So you take 4 infinity range, 4 nether stars, and an eye of ender to build the dimension card. I can't do it in this grid because there's no crafting interface on this one. So we're going to switch to a wireless crafting grid, I think. So we can craft in our inventory. It's just convenient is the main thing. That's why these upgrades are valuable. Once you've linked EMC, then you can access your stuff pretty much anywhere at the cost of RF a tick. But If we clear this out for a minute and take dimension card and put that in, there we go. Whoop, getting some latency. Not 100% sure why. Don't die on me, computer. There we go. It updated. Kind of. It's thinking about it. Yeah. I think that boost, like when I first put in that card, it is kind of laggy. So I might need to adjust some stuff to make this work better. But I want to see how much RF. So 237 is the base FE a tick or RF a tick that our network takes right now. So if we put in the dimension card, that will allow us to access our network from anywhere. That is 8,000 RF a tick for the dimension card. Now, that is, if you have the dimension card and the infinity range card, you can access your refined storage network from anywhere. But our reactor right now only does 4.3 kilo RF tick. So really, we could run our infinity range booster card probably. So we'll leave that one in there. But we're not quite supplying enough power to run the dimension card as well right now. So we need to upgrade our power network, which is what we're going to be doing in the next episode. That's right, guys. If you want to be sure to catch that one, take the time now, drop down below, hit that subscribe button, and like the video while you're down there. Drop a comment, blah, blah, blah. Because we're going to be doing Powah, the Powah mod, to get a bunch of power in the next one. But subscribe so you get notified when it comes out. Anyway, guys, right now we're at 4.6 KFE per tick into our network. You can look at it through the Flux controller with Flux Networks, which is kind of handy. We have a fairly large buffer, so I'm okay kind of throwing... I could probably even throw the dimension card in there and be fine. It's not like I'm using the wireless all that much at this point anyway. And I've got like almost 250 million RFs like just stored in my... various batteries and such in the power network. But let's go ahead and link this wireless crafting grid. So the way this one works, you open the grid and you can craft with it. You can synchronize it. So I like JEI two-way. That way, what I type in my computer stays in my hotbar, or stays in my inventory bar. What I type in my inventory bar stays in my computer. That kind of thing. I like it that way. That's just me. But 12,000 FE a tick, or almost 13,000 right now, is what my computer network is taking to run. So if we hover over this and go to network stats, our input is 8.2, our output is 13.9. So we're currently running a deficit of almost 5,000 KFE a tick, something like that. So we are, burning through our 250 million RF buffer of power storage. So that's fine. That just means I need to get on making power soon, or I need to take out one of these cards. Like if I take out the dimension card, we should be fine. We'll just teach that to the table. We'll throw it in later. Not a big deal. Once I put down any of the reactors from the Powah mod, I should be making enough. I can run the other one. Now, the cool thing about these wireless crafting grids, or any of the grids for that matter, you can throw them into your curio slot. Now, you put it in there, you might be thinking, well, that's great. Now I can't use it without taking it out, so just extra 3 pushes. There's actually a hotbind, or a hotkey that you can set so you can access it. So there's one for the universal grid, the fluid grid, and the crafting monitor, portable grid, and wireless grid. I believe it is wireless crafting grid. This one right here is what we're looking for. I'd like it on V. That's what I have been using my portable crafting table on, but we won't be using that if we have access to the computer. We can use the computer crafting table instead. So I want to change that out. I don't recall how you clear this out all the way. That's fine. If I do it to an off key, I can just leave it bound to an off key and it won't matter. Tilde is already used. Oh, that's hotbar, duh. Maybe numpad? I think numpad 7 maybe? Yeah, that's open. Perfect. Okay, so now if I push the 7 button on my numpad, it should open up our computer after lagging the crap out of my computer. But there we go. Awesome. Awesome. We got that figured out. And I'll probably play around with those hotkeys a little bit. We've got plenty of storage space in here, and that's primarily because of these gigantic fluid storage drives that I've got. But yeah, no worries. Let's go ahead and take a look at some auto crafting. Because really the benefit of having wireless network and stuff like that is auto crafting with refined storage is really easy to set up. Now you can do just basic crafting recipes and that's great, but I'm actually going to use auto crafting to get me through the entire Powah mod. So you can auto craft all of the Energizer recipes with refined storage, and it's fairly simple to automate. We're going to cover that in the next episode. So, like I said earlier, be sure to subscribe if you want to get notified when that comes out, or tune back in a couple days. It should be back up on the channel a couple days after this one goes up. We're going to go in depth, deep dive on how to automate the Powah mod with refined storage. I wanted to do this episode first, though, because we're getting all of our wireless crafting and all of our refined storage upgrades, low key, name of the episode, taken care of before we dive into auto crafting. So we're going to build a couple patterns here. We're going to build a pattern grid, fancy dancy. Look at that. As you can see, my recipes aren't being taught. All I got to do is change priority on my EMC link storage bus or whatever, the refined storage cable that's connected to the EMC link block. I just need to change the priority of that particular connection to 1, and then when I throw stuff in the computer, it'll teach it if it has an EMC value. But that's fine, not a big deal. Let's go ahead and see if we can get this. So, I actually need to build some crafters. That's fine. We're going to build these anyway, so pretty fancy. You can actually dye all of the refined storage stuff, so not just the crafters, but all of the refined storage stuff can be dyed different colors. So as you can see, I've got 2 lime green grids up on this floor of our, base, more or less. I think I'm going to try to color code all of the different terminals, and this is going to be our refined storage terminal hub, where we have all of our patterns and crafting monitor, and all of that garbage will be right on this floor. So if you take the crafter manager, it makes life a lot easier when you're dealing with 20 or more, not even that many. Even if you're dealing with 2 or 3 crafters, you can access all of the crafters connected to your refined storage network via the crafting manager. So that means you can put the patterns in without actually accessing the crafter that stores the pattern. Hopefully that made sense. It's pretty powerful. I'm going to dye these different colors. I think one of them will probably be purple. That kind of makes sense. Maybe we'll do patterns as purple. Purple crafters. I don't know about that. Crafting manager. And you can, all of the different colored of grids are EMCable as well. So you can actually teach each different color grid to your refine or your EMC tablet if you would prefer to pull out a specific color of the machine. So if we're only going to use purple crafting managers, we could unteach the standard crafting manager and only be able to pull out the purple ones when we're going to place down another, for example. That's where that might be useful. I think on our crafter, what I want to do is I actually want to make these yellow. It'll kind of go better with this room, which I believe is where these are going to be sitting. I don't know. At least some of them will be in this room. So we're going to dye one of these yellow, teach it to the table so we can pull out yellow crafters just for fun. It's not, it literally makes no difference. It's just kind of a fun thing to do for cosmetic purposes. So we've got an orange pattern grid, we've got a purple crafter manager, and we need a stack of patterns to fill up our pattern grid, or a crafting grid, or the pattern table, basically. I'll show you in just a moment. We're going to place them down. So we can place some cables off of this wireless network block is what I'm connecting these to. That is a wireless receiver, or network receiver from Refined Storage is connected to a network transmitter block down below where our controller is. So this is connecting our network wirelessly. That's what that block does. So I can plug into that block with cables and grids and all that good stuff, and it will connect to our computer network downstairs, and that's great. But I do have a little utility area below this floor where I plan on putting some of the cabling and things. I'm just trying to decide a little bit how I want to do this. So if you were curious about what blocks I was using, so for the glowstone floor down here, it is chiseled. It's just chiseled glowstone. I believe it is the slant texture. We'll take a look in the chisel real quick. Yeah, glowstone slanted is what we're looking at. So you just chisel it, and you can do that in an iron chisel as well. I just have the diamond chisel, so might as well use it. The only downside is the chisel variant blocks do not have EMC. Bear that in mind. Anyway, let's place our stuff down. So we've got our pattern grid, we've got our crafter manager. So we could put that up there, and then this would sit out. I guess that's, I mean, I don't really like that. I want this all in like right up against this wall, which I think I can do. I don't even think I need that cable there, to be honest with you. So let's try this. We'll break this block down here just in case, and I'll just, like, well, I should have just done it there. That's fine. Whatever. Not a big deal. What I can do if I want to pick these blocks up is I can go into my backpack and turn on my backpack magnet, and it'll just suck everything into our backpack when it hits the floor. Kind of a handy tool if you don't want to pick stuff up and have it clearing or messing up your inventory. But there we go. So we've got orange pattern, purple crafting manager. We put the patterns in there, and what you can do with that is teach various recipes to your and store it on a pattern. You put that inside of a crafter, and it will do the recipe for you automatically via refined storage. It's pretty powerful, pretty useful. Now, the Powah mod, what we'll do, we're going to build the wrench for it, I guess, because we'll probably need that. I don't know, maybe we won't. But we'll also grab a manual for the mod and kind of take a look at that as we wrap up the episode here. We have, like, some Powah solar panels downstairs already, and they are EMCable. So some of the stuff in Powah is EMCable. So the basic up to starter tier is EMCable, but these reactors, so the reactor starter blocks are EMCable. It's 36 blocks, 3x4 area, auto builds out of your inventory when you have 36 of them. Pretty easy to put together, and it generates just a ton of power. And this is what we're going to do to power the dimensional card in our refined storage system, and basically scale up our energy production. We're going to cover actually building these and everything like that in the next episode, because I plan on automating the building of literally all of this stuff, so up through reactor nitros, via refined storage. And yeah, so it's going to take, that'll be a long episode if you're curious about how to use single craft recipes with refined storage auto crafting. The next episode in this series, which, just check out the playlist and watch the next episode after this one if you're interested in it. If you're watching it way in the future, if it hasn't come up yet, be sure to subscribe so you get notified when it comes up, because it's going to be a good one, full of good information. But you put in uranium or uranite, redstone, coal, and either ice, packed ice, blue ice, or water all into this reactor to get max generation factor and all that good stuff, fuel burn rate, and all these things. It's a fairly complex mod. It has quite a bit of different stuff. The power cells in this mod are actually pretty good. Like 60 million FE is pretty, like, that's a huge amount of storage in a single block. Granted, the gargantuan storage is 128 million, I guess. So realistically, that might be a better option because it is quite a bit easier to build that stuff. But I want to dive into this mod. It has its own wireless power transmission as well. It has its own cables, which the cables from this mod are pretty good since we don't have mechanism in this mod pack. These cables are just as good as the mechanism cables, if not better. So yeah, pretty good. I'm going to set up auto crafting to build all the cables for sure, build all the reactor tiers for sure, build all the various like crystals and stuff like that. And yeah, so it's going to be an undertaking. So uranite ore is comes in poor, normal, and dense, so you can get more, and it's fortune affected, blah, blah, blah. Now, this used to not be EMCable, but what I'm going to do to actually gather that, I have a uranite ore block, RF Tools Dimension Guard. So I'm going to use that to go gather some uranite. We'll probably talk about that in the next episode, though. I'm planning on putting the reactors maybe in that back corner and everything like that. I think they'll look pretty good right there. Plug them in. We've got our wrench. We've got our book. We'll be ready for next time. So, I mean, it's going to be good. It's going to be good. We have upgraded our refined storage system. Next time, we're going to upgrade our power system. If you enjoyed the episode, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe as always. And until next time, this has been Lone Debater 7, and we will see ya!